Good evening, everybody. Let's begin our class. In today's class, we are going to discuss something more in detail about the data types in Python so that, we will be helpful. Okay. Okay. Now, without any further delay, we quick revision what we completed yesterday. We completed a couple of things in the last class. What are the things that we completed? We understood that we understood that in the last class there are different kinds of data type. We understood there is float data type. We saw that with an example, and the float can be represented using exponential form also. We saw that, and then we understood there is another data type in Python called as complex data type. We understood in complex data type what is the real part in the imaginary part and how do we represent it. We also understood about the Boolean data type. Boolean data type in Python consists of true, and the next value we consist in Boolean data type is false. True is internally represented as 1 and false is internally represented as 0. Okay, and after that we just surfaced about the string data type. Okay, now let us have one requirement. Okay, in Python, remember very clearly, in Python you can represent a string. A string is nothing but a sequence of characters. Say, for example, I'm creating a string here. S1 is a string variable. I want to represent a string. You can represent a string only by using single quotes like this or by using double quotes. If you are using single quotes, you can either use single quotes or double quotes. Now, for example, let me write, I'm storing a string value by name Karthik. I'm storing a string value by name Karthik. Now I have a requirement. I don't want Karthik to be entered completely. I don't want Karthik to be retrieved. If I am printing S1, okay. If I am printing S1, okay, let me take it here and put it here and explain. It will be more easier. Okay. Quickly, let us create one Python file. So the Python file is demo14. Let's create one file by name demo15. Okay. Now here in demo15, I'm creating a string. I'm giving a variable name called as S1. I can represent string in Python using single quotes or by using double quotes. Double quotes or by using single quotes. Let me use single quotes now. I'm giving the value Karthik to that variable, Karthik to the variable S1. Now, if I'm trying to print S1, if I'm trying to print S1, it will print the content inside that variable. It will print the content inside the variable. That is, Karthik value is sitting inside that variable, is sitting inside the bucket S1. It is printing it. Now, if I want to know how Python is storing this variable S1, you can write the print type of S1. You can write it. When you're typing print type of S1, Python is going to say that this Karthik value is internally stored as a string data type. All these things we know. Now, I want to increase my name. So my full name is not Karthik. My full name is Karthik Babu. My full name is Karthik Babu. Now I want to print. If I'm giving that I want my full name is Karthik Babu. When I'm printing print S1, it is completely printing Karthik Babu. But my requirement here is I want only my first name. Requirement is only first name. So my first name is Karthik. I don't want Babu to be printed. I want only Karthik to be printed on my console. Is there a way to achieve that one? Yes. In order to understand, in order to print only Karthik, so assume that this entire Karthik Babu, the entire Karthik Babu is a string. I want to print only a part of the string. I want to print only the substring. I want to print only the part of the string. Is it possible or not? Yes, it is possible. Only when you understand how this string is stored internally in Python. I'm going to explain that concept. People who wanted to understand this concept is not only used here, it is used across other programming languages also. So pay careful attention. Only then you will be able to understand what I'm saying completely. Okay. Now, what am I trying to explain? I'm trying to explain how this Karthik Babu is stored inside the memory in Python. Only then you will be able to fulfill this requirement of only printing the first name as Karthik. Okay. come here. This concept, if you are learning here, it will be helpful even in other programming languages because this concept is same in all programming languages. Okay. Now in the memory, assume that we have a cupboard at home. We have water, we have cupboard at home. So let us give a name to this cupboard. Let us call this cupboard name to be as a STR. Let's give this cupboard name as S1. Okay, the cupboard name is S1. Now you need to you imagine or visualize that in cupboard, do we have only one rack or do we have only one shelf or do we have multiple shelves? Quickly. How many shelves we have? Multiple shelves. Okay, very good, fantastic. Now assume that this is a cupboard, whatever, or this is a wardrobe in our home. Now in each rack or in each shelf, let me store up one variable. Let me store up one variable. So I'm having K, and then I'm having R, and then I'm having T, and then I'm having H, and then I'm having I am having, and then I'm having the value K. Now carefully understand, each character is placed in a separate shell. Each character is placed in a separate shell, and the entire cupboard or the entire thing, we call that as a wardrobe. Okay, is this understandable? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The entire wardrobe is called as a S1 because when you are creating S1 is equal to Karthik, you're writing S1. What is the example that we have given here? The example is here. Let me give it. S1 is holding the value Karthik. In this case, S1 is a wardrobe name and Karthik is the value that is sitting inside a variable S1. And assume that S1 pictorially is like a cupboard, and in the cupboard we have multiple racks or multiple shelves. So in each shelf one value is seated. Clear? In each shelf one value is seated. Now there are one important thing. I cannot, if I want to fetch only the value K, how do I call this one? It is very difficult for me to call or access the value K. So I will name each rack by some number. What is that? I will call the first rack by the name 0. I will call the second rack as 1. So from beginning from 0, 1, I will give the numbers to it. 0, 1, and this is 3, and this is 4. And this is in the fifth rack, we have the value I. In the sixth rack, we have the value K. Okay. In the 0th rack, what we are having? K value. In the first rack, we are having A value. In the second rack, we are having R. In the third rack, T. In the fourth rack, H. In the fifth rack, I. And in the sixth rack, I'm having K. So how do I call it? Directly, you cannot call the rack by name. You need to tell the cupboard name and then the rack name. What is a cupboard name? Huh? What is a cupboard?
S1.
S1. The cupboard name is S1. And then when you're telling it to Python, I want to access each rack, then you need to give the symbol square bracket. Listen carefully. When you want to access the cupboard, you need to give the cupboard name. The cupboard name here is S1, and you need to give the rack, because if you wanted to access only the K value, you need to give the rack count. So here the rack count is 0. So before going on the rack level, if you want to tell Python, go inside the rack and check, you need to give the square bracket. Then when you are giving S1, which is the cupboard name or wardrobe name, and then the square bracket, it will understand, oh, by the user is asking me to get inside the rack, and then it will ask which number of rack. If you're saying 0, it will go to that particular value and rack, and it will give you the value K. It will give you the value K. Now, if I want to fetch the value K, what is the rack number and how do I give it? If I want to give the rack value,
S1 of 6. X1.
S1 is the wardrobe name, and the rack, if I want to access the
6.
rack, I need to give the square brackets, and then I need to give the sixth value. So it will get into the rack of 6 and fetch the value. And what is seated inside this rack? The seated value is K. The seated value is K.
How do
you need to understand that this one, whatever I'm teaching you, is called a slicing of strings concept. What is the concept I'm teaching you? Slicing of strings, meaning I'm slicing
of a string.
Oh, pardon? Okay. And what is the concept that I'm teaching you here? The concept what I'm teaching you here is called a slicing of string. I'm slicing. Slicing meaning
Leaf.
No, on top of that.
Please go on mute, Mr. Martin.
What do you say, 100?
Here. No, it's gone.
Okay. You got my point. So each thing what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to teach you a concept by name slicing of strings. So slicing of strings is nothing but I am slicing each string and I'm placing it inside a cupboard and inside each rack or shelf, and this concept is called the slicing of strings. Slicing means a piece. Slice means when you want to slice a fruit, you are going to get one piece of that one. Okay, you're going to get. So if you want to slice a string, you need to use the square brackets. If you want to slice a string, what operator you need to use? The square bracket operator we have to use. This one is called as a slice operator, or the square bracket. You can use it to slice a particular string. Okay. Now the next thing what you need to remember here is you are counting from left to right. You are counting from which part? You are counting from where to where?
Left to right.
Left to right. You are counting from left to right. So when you are counting from left to right, you need to understand that this is called as forward indexing. Left to right is called as what? Forward index. Is called as what? Forward index. Because are we moving in the forward direction? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are moving in the forward direction. That is why when you are moving from left to right, we call that as forward direction, forward index. Anything when you are counting begins from 0 and then from left to right we are moving, it is called as forward index. Now you need to carefully understand that Python is a unique language, or it is a special language where other programming languages also is following the same thing what Python is following. But the beauty is that Python has some additional benefit where other programming languages are not having that benefit. All programming languages are treating the string to be stored in a cupboard like this, and each character is stored in a shelf like this. Okay, each character is stored in a shelf like this, and there is an additional beauty that Python is offering. What is that beauty? The beauty is that Python supports right to left indexing also. Python supports right to left indexing, where other programming languages are not supporting. What is this right to left indexing? Right to left indexing meaning it is saying that from right the numbers are going from right to left. So what is here? Here we will have -1. This particular rack can also be called from S1 by 6, can also be called by S1 of -1. It is having two names. Okay. Now I can access the I value either by giving 5, rack value 5, or I can give -2. Okay, and this concept is supported only in Python. No other programming languages is supporting right to left indexing or backward index. Okay, so -1, -2, -3, and this is -5. Okay, and this is -6, and this is -7. Okay, and this concept right to left is called as a backward index, is called as a backward index. Okay, so if you are comfortable using a forward index, you can use forward index, that is nothing but 0 to 6. If you are comfortable, you can use a backward index, that is -1 to -7. Clear? Did you understand this concept? How a string is stored in the memory and how we can access it? Can I prove it programmatically how this is working? I've showed it to you in visualization. Can I prove it programmatically?
Yes, sir.
So the only difference is we don't use 0 if you count it the reverse way.
Yes, if you are counting from left to right, your counting should begin with the 0. If you are counting from right to left, your counting should begin with -1. That is important.
And what is the practical reason of supporting the reverse indexing? I mean, do we have practical use cases?
I'll tell you.
I mean, I know Python is unique in supporting this feature, but just wanted to know what is the logic of supporting this.
Yes, so let us take up, I'll explain that concept. So let's take up that example here, S1 here, and then I'm giving the value Karthik, Okay, now I'm trying to print off S1, I'm trying to do print off S1. Now in print of S1, if I'm running it, I will get the value Karthik as it is. Okay, now I am trying to see what is the type of data it is internally storing. Print type of S1. Now when I'm trying to run it, you will get the value. It is stored, the data is stored in the form of a string. Okay, beautiful. The next concept is I want to access each thing. Say for example, I want to know what is the value. I want to print only the value K. So I have to give the wardrobe name, and then I need to tell I want to get into the rack, that is square bracket, slicing operator, slice operator, square bracket, and then I need to give the rack or the shelf number. Okay, clear?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, just give me a moment. Somebody is calling me. Okay, now I am back. Now I want to print off S1, and then wardrobe name is S1, and I want to get into the rack. I need to use the slice operator, that is a square bracket, and then I want to give the rack or the shelf name, that is 0. Now when I'm trying to print it, you will get the value K, which is present inside that particular place. Clear? Now say suppose I want to know the value that is present in the last. Okay, I want to print the value which is present in the last. Okay, so for that, what is the value should I give here? What is the value? I want to give the cupboard name and then the rack number. Yes. So what I will try to do, I will try to raise print, and then I will try to, can everybody go on mute? Viresh, Zayed and Mohan, and then give the S1 as a variable, and then S1 as a cupboard name, and then slice operator to enter into the shelf or rack, and then give the shelf or the, I need to give the shelf or the rack number, that is 6. Okay, so I'll give it 6. So whatever is the value which is present at last, I'll be able to get it. That is a K value. You can clearly see here, Karthik K, it is present in the 0th index, and then the last also K is present. So I'm getting K here. Now, there is another way that, instead of giving positive index, I want to use a negative index. I want to fetch the value T. So if I want to fetch the value T, I can either give the value from positive index 3, or I can give the negative index -4. Both, if you're giving both -4 and +3, it will print the value T only. Can I prove that one? See here, print S of 1, square bracket, that's a slice operator. And what is the value that I need to give? What is present here? 3 and -4. Okay. So I'll give first 3, and then let me give you s of 1 and then I'm giving -4. Now when I'm giving it, you will see in both cases it is printing t only. So I can access this particular characters of the string either by giving the negative index or by giving the positive index. Somebody asked me a good question: why is it Python supporting backward index? Very simple. Okay, now today my name is Karthik. Okay, today my name is Karthik. Tomorrow my name could be Karthik B. Okay, tomorrow my name could be Karthik B. Now, if I want to get hold of this B, I want to get hold the last character of my name. Anytime I can give it -1. Anytime I can give -1, and I will for sure know that whatever is the name, for sure I will get the last character only. But tomorrow, if my name is changing, the 6 will change to 7. But if I'm giving -1, it will for sure hit the last character and it will take it to me. That is why Python is super duper language. Did you understand? Did it make sense? Yes, no, quickly.
Yeah, it makes sense. So when there is a constant appending happening to a particular value, and you always want to print the penultimatum or the ultimatum object, then you use
See, if the
negative.
name is dynamic in nature, if I want to print the last character, it will be difficult because if I'm using forward index, I need to place like this. I need to count what is the last character and then print it. If the name is dynamic, if I'm using backward index, -1 will always be beginning from the last. So I can directly give -1. Clear?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, now say for example, I have another option. I want to print from K, I want to print Karthik. No, for example, my whole name is Karthik. I just want to print first 3 characters. K-A-R. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Very simple. Give the beginning index. Given you want to tell that, Python give the wardrobe name, give the index, start index, and give the end index. It will print that one. Come here, let me show you. The wardrobe name is S1. You want to go all the way from 0th index till the 2nd index. But if you are giving 2nd index, it will stop here. If you give 3rd index, it will correctly stop in the 2nd index. So if you want to read KAR, that is 0, 1, and 2, you have to give the next index count, that is the 3rd index. Then correctly it will stop in the 2nd and you will get the value R. Okay, now see here. I'm giving the 3rd index value. Now if I'm giving it, it will be printing AR. Okay, there is some wrong I have given. Line number 8.
Colon.
Can you go on mute, Siddiq?
No, sir, you have to give colon in the between 0.
Yeah, sorry. It is not comma, it is colon. Okay, so it gives all the way up to KAR. Okay, so this is how your string concept is working. If this you are understanding, that means you have understood most of the topic very clearly. And if you are not understood this concept, revisit this video because this is very, very important. Not many people will explain a concept by showing pictorial view. They will assume that you know all these things and they will leave it. But only if you understand like this, you will not make mistake. You will be able to understand it more in detail. Clear? Now come here. Let me show you few more things. If you want to print all the characters in that string, you can give the slice operator and just give colon. So automatically Python will consider from the begin index is 0 and all the way up to the last index it will print the complete.
Hello.
It will print the complete. It will print the complete name. I'm going to remove a lot of people who are creating a lot of disturbance. Please, when you are attending a class, make sure that you know some basic etiquettes. Okay. Now from the begin index and to the last way, you are trying to get all these things. Now there is another way also that you can get it. Say suppose you don't want to print, you don't want to mention the begin index. Whatever before the colon you are having, it is called as begin index. Whatever after the colon, we call it as the end index. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm not going to give the begin index. I'm going to give only the end index. So end index, what I'm trying to give, end index, I'm trying to give up to 4, up to 4. Now when I'm giving up to 4, it will come 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will stop at the 3. It will stop at the 3. So I will be able to get KRT. I will be able to get it. See that? KRT, I will be able to get it. Could you see here? Now there is another way also. Instead of printing, instead of mentioning that, instead of mentioning the end index, you can directly give the begin index and don't want to give the end index. End index, if you are not giving, it will completely print to whatever is the value that it is present in the complete string, it will print. Clear, clear, clear.
So,
Okay.
Karthik, if there is a space in the string, then the space also counts as a
It
counter value
also counts as a string only.
string.
See here?
So the space also takes a value, right?
Yeah, space also is considered as a character.
Character. Okay, thanks.
Okay, now what I'm trying to do here is I want to multiply, I want to print a Karthik 3 times on my console. What do? Very simple. Python is offering one beautiful thing. We call that as a repetition operator. The repetition operator is nothing but I want to print Karthik thrice. So what do? I have one inbuilt repetition operator called a star, where whatever the string value that you are giving, if you are giving into 3 times, it will print Karthik 3 times on the console. It is called as repetition operator. Karthik, Karthik, Karthik. So star acts as a repetition operator. Clear, clear, clear. Okay. And then you want to know, say suppose in programming, you want to know the length of this Karthik, how many characters are present in this Karthik. You can use the inbuilt method length and then give the variable name S1. So it will give you the length of that particular string Karthik. So Karthik contains 7 characters, the count it is giving here. Okay, this is how your string concept is working in Python, and it is very, very important for you to understand. Only then you will be able to appreciate the other concepts as well. Clear? Okay, so I don't want to stress more on this one because the next topic, whatever I'm going to teach, it's a little advanced. So I will stop it here. In the next class, we are going to teach you, I'm going to teach you more in detail.